Mr. Khan was a very rich man. He lived in a big house on the hill with many rooms and shiny cars. He was famous in the city. People knew him as a powerful businessman. He had many companies and was always busy with meetings and calls. But no one really knew much about his personal life. He was a mystery to many. One morning, the news spread quickly. Mr. Khan had died suddenly. No one knew exactly what happened. Some said it was a heart attack. Others whispered about stress and enemies. But the city was shocked. How could such a strong man be gone so fast? The next day, preparations began for the funeral. It was not a small event. The whole city was invited. People came from everywhere to pay their respects. The big church was filled with flowers, and a giant photo of Mr. Khan smiled from the front. Many important people were there. Politicians, business owners, and even strangers who only knew him from the news. Among all the crowd was a small girl named Amina. She was Mr. Khan's daughter, only 9 years old but already very quiet. Unlike the others, she did not wear fancy clothes. Her dress was simple and her eyes looked tired and sad. People whispered, "Poor girl, she lost her father." But no one knew what she really felt inside. During the funeral, many speakers came to talk about Mr. Khan. They spoke of his success, his hard work, and how he helped the city grow. They talked about his wealth, the houses, the cars, and the money he gave to charity. But no one spoke about his family, or the little girl who sat quietly in the front row. Amina did not cry. She did not say anything. She just watched the crowd, her eyes searching. She wanted to understand, but the world around her felt strange and cold. Then something happened that shocked everyone. As the ceremony was ending, Amina stood up. She walked slowly to the front, holding a small paper in her hands. The room grew quiet. Everyone looked at her, wondering what the little girl would say. With a small voice, she said, "Yesterday, my dad called me to sleep with him." The words hung in the air like a heavy cloud. People gasped. Some looked confused. Others frowned. The priest stopped speaking. The crowd whispered among themselves, shocked and unsure what the girl meant. "Did she say what?" a man asked. "Why would she say that at a funeral?" a woman whispered. Some parents held their children closer, feeling uneasy. Amina's eyes did not leave the crowd. She looked serious, almost like she was trying to tell a secret no one was ready to hear. Her small hands trembled, but she stood tall. The silence in the church was deep. No one knew what to say. The moment felt strange and dark. The words Amina spoke did not fit the happy memories people expected at a funeral. Instead, they created questions, fear, and confusion. What did she mean by "called me to sleep with him"? Was it just a child's mistake? Or did it mean something else? As the crowd slowly left the church, some people looked back at Amina with pity. Others avoided her eyes. The news reporters quickly wrote down her words. Social media exploded with guesses and rumors. Everyone wanted to know the truth behind the little girl's strange statement. At home, Amina sat alone in her room. Her mother tried to comfort her, but Amina felt a deep sadness inside. She wanted to tell someone about the strange things that happened before her father died, but she was afraid. No one listened before. Maybe no one would listen now. The night was long and quiet. Amina could not sleep. She kept thinking about her father's last words, his strange behavior, and the fear she felt when he called her to his room the night before he died. She remembered how her father looked tired, how he whispered secrets in the dark, and how she heard strange sounds coming from the big house. Her mind was full of questions. Why did her father call her like that? What was the secret behind his death? And why did she say those words at the funeral? No one could answer these questions yet. The story of Mr. Khan and his daughter Amina was only beginning, and the truth hidden behind that strange sentence would change everything. The city waited, not knowing what dark secrets the millionaire's death had brought to light, and Amina, the quiet girl with the mysterious words, was ready to uncover the truth, no matter how painful it might be. The day after the funeral, the city slowly returned to normal. But for Amina, nothing felt normal anymore. The house that once felt safe now seemed cold and empty. The big rooms echoed with silence, and every corner reminded her of her father's absence. Amina stayed mostly in her small bedroom. She did not want to go outside or talk to anyone. Her mother, Mrs. Khan, was busy with calls and visitors. Everyone wanted to offer their condolences, but no one really understood what Amina was going through. At school, Amina sat quietly. Her friends noticed she was different. She did not smile or play as before. Sometimes she would stare out the window, lost in deep thoughts. No one knew what she was thinking. No one knew about the strange words she had spoken at the funeral. At home, Amina's nights were even harder. She could not forget the last night she spent with her father. The memory was clear but frightening. She remembered the soft knock on her bedroom door. It was late, almost midnight. Her father's voice was low and urgent. "Amina, come to sleep with me tonight." At first, she did not want to go, but something in his voice made her rise from her bed. She walked slowly down the long, dark hallway to his room. The house was silent except for the sound of her own footsteps. When she reached his door, it was slightly open. She stepped inside and saw her father sitting on the bed. His eyes looked tired, and his face was pale. "Why did you call me, Dad?" she asked softly. He did not answer right away. He looked at her with deep sadness. "There are things I cannot tell you yet," he said quietly. "But you must be strong. If anything bad happens, remember this moment." Amina did not understand. She only felt fear. Then she heard a strange noise from downstairs. A soft thud, like someone walking. Her father quickly closed the door and told her to go back to her room and lock the door. "Don't be afraid, Amina. I will protect you," he said. But she was afraid. That night, she heard more strange sounds. Footsteps, whispers, and sometimes a low growl. She tried to sleep but could not. Her mind was full of questions. Why did her father call her to sleep with him? What did he want to protect her from? In the days after his death, Amina tried to find answers. She searched the house looking for clues. One day, while cleaning the study, she found a small locked box under the table. It was old and dusty. She tried to open it but failed. She asked her mother about it. Mrs. Khan looked at the box nervously and said, "That belonged to your father. It is private. You should not touch it." Amina felt more curious than ever. Why was her mother hiding things? What secrets was her father keeping? Her nights were filled with dreams of her father. Sometimes he smiled at her. Sometimes he looked worried. In her dreams, he whispered, "Be careful, Amina. Trust no one." The city talked less about Mr. Khan now, but Amina's world was full of shadows. She felt like someone was watching her. Sometimes she heard footsteps outside her window at night. When she looked, no one was there. One evening, Amina decided to write in her diary. She wrote about her father, the strange night, and her fears. Writing helped her feel a little better. But the more she wrote, the more she felt the mystery growing. Why did her father's death feel so strange? Why had he called her to sleep with him? The answer was hidden somewhere, and Amina was determined to find it. Her small heart was full of courage, but the truth she was about to discover would be darker than she ever imagined. Days passed, but Amina could not stop thinking about the strange things in her father's house. Every night, the memories of his last words and the noises haunted her mind. She felt like the house was hiding secrets, secrets that only she could find. One rainy afternoon, Amina stayed home alone. Her mother had gone out to meet with the lawyer about Mr. Khan's will. The house was silent, except for the sound of rain hitting the windows. Amina decided to explore the big old house again. She walked carefully from room to room, looking for anything unusual. She reached the study where she had found the locked box before. The room smelled like old books and dust. The walls were covered with pictures of her father, some smiling, some serious. Amina's eyes caught something strange near the large wooden bookshelf. One of the shelves looked different from the others. It was thicker and seemed to move a little. Curious, Amina pushed the shelf gently. Suddenly, the shelf moved, and a hidden door appeared behind it. A cold breeze blew out from the dark space. Her heart beat fast. She knew this was the secret her father wanted her to find. Amina took a deep breath and stepped inside the dark room. It was a small, narrow space filled with boxes and old papers. The air smelled damp and forgotten. She used her phone's light to look around. On a table, she found a stack of letters tied with a red ribbon. She opened one and started to read. The letters were written by her father. They talked about danger, about people who wanted to hurt. The family. Mr. Khan had been scared for a long time. One letter said, "I must protect Amina no matter what. If I am gone, she must know the truth." Amina's hands trembled. What truth was her father talking about? Suddenly, she heard a soft noise behind her. She turned quickly but saw nothing. The house was empty, or so she thought. She looked back at the letters and found a key hidden inside one of them. The key was old and rusty, but it had a strange symbol on it, a small star. Amina felt both scared and excited. She took the key and looked around the room again. Then, she noticed a small locked box in the corner. It was similar to the one she had seen before, but bigger. She used the key and opened the box slowly. Inside, there was a small diary, some photographs, and a USB stick. The diary was her father's. She opened it carefully and read the first page. "This diary is for Amina. If you are reading this, it means I am no longer here. There are things you need to know about our family. Some people want to take everything from us. Trust only yourself. I love you." Amina's eyes filled with tears. Her father had left her a message, a warning, and a guide. She took the USB stick and ran to her computer. She plugged it in and waited. The screen showed videos and documents. Some were business files, but others were personal. Videos of her father talking about threats, strange meetings, and promises to keep her safe. One video caught her attention. It was a recording of her father speaking directly to the camera. "My dear Amina, if you are watching this, then I have failed to protect you fully. There are people who want to hurt us. You must be brave. You must find the truth behind my death. Remember, not everyone can be trusted. Love, Dad." The video ended, leaving Amina feeling more determined than ever. Suddenly, the house phone rang loudly. Amina jumped and quickly unplugged the USB stick. She did not answer. The phone kept ringing and ringing. She felt a chill down her spine. Was someone watching her? Did they know she had found the hidden room in the diary? Amina hid the diary and the USB stick in her backpack and locked the hidden room door carefully. She knew this was only the beginning. There were more secrets in the house and more danger waiting, but she was ready for her father, for herself, for the truth. The dark mystery of Mr. Khan's life and death was far from over. After discovering the hidden room in her father's diary, Amina felt both brave and scared. She knew she was not alone in this mystery. Someone was watching. Someone who wanted to stop her from finding the truth. The next morning, Amina went to school, but her mind was far away. She could not focus on lessons. Her friends tried to talk to her, but she only gave quiet answers. Her heart was heavy with questions. When she came back home, she found a strange letter slipped under the front door. The envelope was plain, no name or address. With trembling hands, she opened it. The letter said only a few words. "Stop looking for the truth, or you will lose everything." Amina's breath caught. Who could send such a warning? Was it someone who wanted to protect her, or someone who wanted to harm her? She showed the letter to her mother. Mrs. Khan looked worried but tried to hide it. She said, "Amina, sometimes secrets are better left alone. Your father wanted to keep you safe. Please do not dig deeper." But Amina could not stop now. The letter made her more determined. She wanted to know the whole story, no matter what. That evening, as the sun set, Amina sat in the living room reading more of her father's diary. She learned about his business enemies, jealous people who wanted to take away his fortune. She learned about threats he received but never spoke about. Suddenly there was a knock on the door. A tall man stood outside wearing a long coat. His face was serious, and his eyes looked tired. "I'm sorry to bother you," he said softly. "My name is Samir. I was a friend of your father." Mrs. Khan invited him inside. Amina watched quietly. Samir sat down and spoke carefully. "Your father told me to protect you if anything happened. There are dangerous people after your family. I'm here to help." Amina wanted to ask many questions, but she was afraid. Samir continued, "I know you found the diary and the USB stick. That was good, but be careful. Not everyone in your father's company is honest. Some want to hurt you to get what they want." Amina looked at him, eyes wide. "But why? What do they want?" "Power and money," Samir said. "Your father's death was not natural. He was killed because he knew too much." The room fell silent. Amina felt a cold wave of fear. Her father's death was a murder? Samir saw her fear and said, "I will stay close to help you, but you must promise to be careful. If you see or hear anything strange, call me." Amina nodded, her heart beating fast. That night, with Samir's words in her mind, she felt less alone but still scared. The house seemed darker and more mysterious. As she lay in bed, she heard footsteps outside her door again. She held her breath. Was it just the wind, or someone watching her? The next day, strange things started happening. Her phone rang with no one on the other end. Her computer showed strange messages. Someone was trying to scare her, but Amina was strong. She remembered her father's warning and Samir's promise. She was ready to fight for the truth. Her journey into the dark secrets of her family was only beginning. Every step she took brought her closer to danger, but also closer to the answers she needed. What would she find next? And who could she trust? The mystery deepened, and the shadows around her grew darker. Amina could not stop thinking about what Samir had told her. Her father's death was not an accident. It was a murder. People who wanted power and money had planned it. But who and why? That night, Amina couldn't sleep. She kept looking at the diary and the USB stick, hoping to find more clues. She knew she had to be careful, but her heart was full of questions. The next day, Samir asked Amina to meet him in a quiet cafe far from the house. "We need to talk in a safe place," he said. Amina agreed. She wore a simple coat and kept her backpack close. At the cafe, Samir looked around nervously before he spoke. "There are people inside your father's company who betrayed him," Samir said in a low voice. "They don't want you to find out the truth. They want to take control of everything. The business, the money, the power." Amina's eyes grew wide. "Do you know who they are?" Samir nodded. "I have names, but we need proof. If we accuse them without evidence, they will come after us faster." Amina felt her hands shake. She was just a young girl, but now she was in the middle of a dangerous game. Samir pulled out a small folder from his bag. Inside were photos and documents. "This is a secret meeting your father attended weeks before he died. These people planned something bad. We need to find out what." Amina looked at the photos. She saw her father sitting with several men in a dark room. Some faces she recognized from the business world. Others were strangers. "Why did my father keep this secret?" she asked quietly. "Because he was scared, and because he wanted to protect you," Samir said. "But now, you must be brave. We will find the truth together." Amina nodded, feeling stronger with Samir by her side. Suddenly, a man entered the cafe and looked directly at them. Samir's face changed. He quickly stood up. "That man is dangerous," Samir whispered. "We must leave." Amina's heart pounded as they left the cafe quickly, the man watching them from behind a newspaper. Back at home, Amina locked the doors and windows. She felt the walls closing in. Danger was near. She took out the diary again and read the last letter from her father. "If you are in danger, trust only Samir. But beware, some friends may be enemies." Amina's mind raced. Who could she trust? Was her mother hiding something? Was someone close to her part of the danger? She looked at the clock. Midnight was near. Suddenly, a loud noise came from the basement. Amina froze. She remembered the strange noises she had heard before. Gathering all her courage, she grabbed a flashlight and slowly went down the stairs. The basement was dark and cold. She shone the light around. Then she saw a shadow move quickly near the far wall. "Who's there?" Amina called, her voice shaking. No answer. She moved closer and found a secret door she had never seen before. The door was slightly open. Taking a deep breath, she pushed it open. Inside was a small room filled with strange equipment, computers, cameras, and wires. It looked like someone was spying on the house. Amina's heart raced. Was this how they were watching her? Who had set up this secret room? Suddenly her phone beeped. A message appeared. "Leave the house now if you want to live." Amina's hands trembled. The danger was closer than ever, but she knew she could not run away. Her father's secret, the people who wanted to hurt her family. She would face them all. With Samir's help, Amina was ready to fight for the truth no matter what. The story was reaching its most dangerous point. What would happen next? Amina sat in her room, the secret message still fresh on her phone. The warning was clear: leave the house or face danger. But how could she leave now? She was too close to the truth. Her father's murder, the secret meeting, the hidden room. Everything was connected. Samir came to her house that afternoon. His face was serious and full of worry. "We can't stay here much longer," he said. "They are watching everything. We need to find the evidence quickly and go to the police." Amina nodded. "But what if the police don't believe us? Some of those men have powerful friends." Samir looked at her with a soft smile. "That's why we have to be careful and smart. Your father left clues in the diary and on the USB stick. We just need to find the most important one." Together, they began to look again at the diary and the USB. Hours passed. Suddenly, Samir found a file on the USB that looked different. It was hidden behind other files. He opened it slowly. Inside was a video, a secret recording from the meeting her father attended. It showed men making plans to take over the business by force. They spoke about threats, lies, and even violence. Amina's heart pounded as she watched. This was the proof they needed. "But there is more," Samir said quietly. "Look closely." Amina watched carefully. Suddenly she saw a man in the video, her mother's business partner, Mr. Qureshi. She gasped. Could her mother's partner be involved in her father's death? Amina's mind raced. She had always trusted her mother. What was going on? Samir closed the laptop. "We need to talk to your mother. She must know something." Amina agreed but felt scared. That evening she found her mother in the kitchen making tea. "Mom," Amina began carefully, "I saw something important today. It's about Mr. Qureshi and the meeting. Was he really your friend?" Mrs. Khan looked away, her hands shaking. "Your father wanted to protect you," she said softly. "But some secrets are dangerous, Amina. Mr. Qureshi, he is not who he seems. He wanted control of everything." Amina's eyes filled with tears. "Why didn't you tell me?" Mrs. Khan hugged her tightly. "I was scared. I wanted to keep you safe. But now it is time for the truth." She told Amina about the fight between her father and Mr. Qureshi, about how her father had discovered plans to steal the company and hurt the family. She also said her father had asked Samir to protect Amina. Amina felt angry and sad. The people she trusted were part of the danger. Suddenly they heard a noise outside the house. Someone was trying to open the door. "Quick," Samir whispered. "Hide." They went to a secret room behind the bookshelf. The door locked automatically. Outside, footsteps moved closer. The door rattled as someone tried to break in. Amina's heart was in her throat. Was this the end? Then, suddenly, the police arrived. The door was forced open, and officers rushed inside. Samir stepped forward and showed the video as proof. The men trying to break in were arrested. They were Mr. Qureshi's men. Amina felt relief, but also sadness. Her father's death was part of a bigger plan, but the truth was finally coming out. As the police took the men away, Samir looked at Amina and said, "Your father was a brave man, and so are you." Amina smiled weakly. The fight was not over, but she was no longer afraid. She was ready to take back her family's honor and protect those she loved. The dark secrets were exposed, but a new chapter was about to begin. Amina held the key tightly in her hand. Her father's letter had given her hope, but also fear. The safe in his office might hold the last piece of the puzzle, the truth about his death and the plan to destroy their family. Samir and Amina walked quietly into the large office. The walls were lined with books, and the heavy safe was behind a painting. Amina's hands shook as she put the key into the lock. Click. The door slowly opened. Inside were papers, photos, and a small box. Amina picked up the papers first. They were documents proving that Mr. Qureshi and his men had been stealing money and planning to take control of the company. Her father had worked hard to protect the family's legacy. She opened the small box. Inside was a USB stick and a note in her father's handwriting. "This is the final evidence. Use it wisely." Samir plugged the USB into his laptop. The screen showed videos, secret meetings, conversations where Mr. Qureshi and others planned to hurt Mr. Khan and steal everything. The proof was undeniable. Suddenly, footsteps echoed in the hall. The door burst open. Mr. Qureshi entered, angry and dangerous. "You don't know what you're doing," he shouted. "This family will fall. You can't stop me." Amina stood firm, holding the letter and evidence. "Your lies end here, Qureshi. My father trusted me to protect his legacy. I won't let you win." Just then, police officers entered behind him. Samir had called them earlier, ready for this moment. Mr. Qureshi was arrested. The truth came out. The family's name was saved. Days later, at a press conference, Amina spoke with strength and hope. "My father was a great man. He fought for truth and justice. I promise to continue his work and protect what he built." The city watched as Amina, once quiet and scared, became a symbol of courage and hope. Her father's funeral was the beginning of a new story, a story of bravery, truth, and a bright future.